So I just got back from Palestine. Most of my perspectives on Israel, Palestine are completely unchanged. I was not really surprised by a whole lot of things. I think part of this is researching it intensely over the past couple of years. But I think if there was one thing that really stood out, there's a tendency in the media to elevate Palestinians to this role of like the perfect victim, the perfect martyr. There's these oppressed people who are full of resilience and they're full of courage. They are here suffering, and that is what they do best. And I think in activist circles, we take that and we say, yes, like be brave like Palestinians. That's what they are. We associate them with courage and resilience. I don't think that's a complete picture, because the thing that struck me most about the Palestinians was not their bravery. It was their hospitality, their kindness, the warmth with which they welcomed me into their homes, into their spaces, especially an American stranger whose tax dollars are actively contributing to their suffering. It was genuinely very humbling to receive such a warm welcome from people who have no reason to treat me well. I also think that something we lose sight of, which I was reminded by being there, is that when we read news about Palestine, we focus myopically on the suffering, the occupation, all of the misery that is entailed with that. What we lose sight of is the fact that amongst all of that, Palestinians are going about their day-to-day lives. They're trying to pursue their dreams of starting a business, starting a family, getting married, learning how to skate, learning how to be a vlogger. These are just normal human things, and humans are incredibly adaptable, and the Palestinians have adapted to one of the worst occupations that we've seen in a very long time. And that really stuck out to me, because I think sometimes when we try and elevate Palestinians to this role of the martyr or the perfect victim, we lose sight of the fact that they are very much just trying to pursue the normal, everyday human things that we are all trying to pursue. They do not desire to be freedom fighters. Most of them desire to make it through the next day. They are not a population that is naturally prone to radicalism or radicalization. I think at times they are forced by circumstances. And the other thing was just understanding how fragile the situation is for the Palestinians living in the camps. The Israelis have more or less expressed their intention to turn Gaza into the West Bank and the West Bank into Gaza. And to do this, they have launched an incredibly chilling series of raids all across the northern West Bank, centering on the refugee camps of Tulkarm, Nur Shams, Jenin, and a few others. And this has had the effect of turning these places into areas that resemble Gaza. They literally, the Palestinians call them little Gazas. That's very heartbreaking, because I think a lot of times we talk about the difference between how Palestinians live in the West Bank versus how they're forced to live in Gaza. But for people living in those refugee camps, it's increasingly becoming difficult to tell the difference.